Hello, everybody. All right. Welcome to the mic stand. Today is Sunday, April the 26th, 2026. Our weekly look down comics history lane. So, of course, first piece of business to take care of real quick here for everybody. Unfortunately, Sabrina will not be able to join us tonight. I think she messaged me earlier tonight that something came up she had to take care of. We're not going to be able to join us tonight. And considering the short amount of time, I realized I was just going to have to do this show solo. Um, so well, of course, let's see. So hopefully everybody's has had a good weekend. Of course, we'll give it a few minutes before we go on, but I guess I'll talk about what we're going to be going over tonight. Of course, like I said, this is our weekly trip down comics history lane. We are, of course, continuing our coverage of comics that went on sale in August of 1940. This week we'll be covering books that went on sale from Novelty Press. Most notably, tonight it will be Target Comics Volume 1, Issue 9, and Blue Bolt Volume 1, Issue 5. The features we'll be looking at will be White Streak, and I'll explain why I picked that story in particular tonight when we start to read. Then we'll, of course, read Bullseye Bill. Those are both from Target Comics. And then we'll head over to Blue Bolt and read up on Dick Cole and Sub-Zero Man. So that's pretty much, those are the four features we're going to be going over tonight. As always, if you guys haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grab your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. And I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. With that being said, let's see. Of course, at the end of the show, after we get done with our readings, of course, I'll of course do this day. Well, in this case, of course, it is the weekend. This weekend in Nietzsche history. So with all that being said, coming up on 4 minutes here. So why don't we get started? Again, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer questions to the best of my ability as we're going along here. So let's go ahead and pull up material here and get started. Oh yeah. As I said, we're all right. So Target Comics, 10 cents, featuring Space Hawk, White Streak, Bullseye Bill, Lucky Bird, Chameleon, T-Man, TR. As Dr. Death's sinister shadow appeared on the wall behind him, White Streak, world. 64 pages, all in full color, Volume 1, Issue 9. Of course, Dr. Death, especially back in the Golden Age, and especially in some of the more noir-like books, Dr. Death was a pretty common name for a villain. This particular Dr. Death, when you see him, and I explain why I picked this story tonight, you will see the humor. Hey, Metal, thanks for popping in there. Yeah. So, anyways, if you want, Metal, I can send you the link if you want to join me. Otherwise, of course, I'll just try to do the best that I can, on my own. But as I've always said, these shows in particular are always better when you have at least one other person to bounce stuff off of. So, but if you don't feel like joining me, that's fine too. Just hang out in the chat. Feel free to chime in as much as you want. All right, so I just came in. Did Sabrina have to? Yeah, I guess something came up. She messaged me this afternoon that she wasn't going to be able to make it. Something I guess came up that she had to tend to. So, that's why I'm doing it on my own. Again, though, just something if you want, I can send you a link. If not, just feel to chime in if anything pops up for you. All right. So, with that being said, of course, let's get into the reading here. Yeah, I have. I happen to be free today. If you don't mind, half attentive. No problem. Hey, half attentive commentary is better than no commentary at all. All right, I'll send you the link here. I'll send it, of course, on Facebook. So be ready for it. As I get it over there. All right, so I just sent you the link. So I guess when we'll start the reading, of course, when he gets here. I'll be, of course, doing the read. He'll do commentary, so it'd be nice to have again somebody to partner up with. I'm just waiting on him. So again, a friendly reminder to everybody, if you guys haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Or we will try to, once he gets here, of course, I'm sure he will too. Anyways, I guess while I'm waiting for him to come on, I guess I can advance the pages a bit here. Let's see. Free prizes for you. No contest to enter. Every target reader wins. So look at some of those prizes right there. All right, so I guess I'll at least get started on some of this here. Okay, so we just read that part. Each month there is a coupon in Target Comics, like the one at the bottom of this page. A similar coupon of equal value also appears in each issue of Blue Bolt, Target's companion magazine. Yeah, remember comics were called comic magazines back then. Cut these coupons out, save them until you have enough to get absolutely free one of the prizes shown on this page, or one of the many other prizes listed in the prize circular. Let's see. Got some pens, it looks like. Some kind of, I guess, toy guns, I guess. Send for the prize circular today. It will give you a list of all the prizes you can get just by reading Target Comics and Blue Bolt, and will tell you how many coupons you need to save for each prize. Just send a penny postal card to Target Comics, 292 Madison Avenue, New York, New York, and say, quote, please send me your prize list, unquote. Print your address plainly. Read Target and Blue Bolt. Be a prize winner. You can't lose. Target prize coupon. This coupon clipped from Target will be redeemed according to the terms of Target prize list. Right for your prize list to Target, 292 Madison Avenue, New York, New York. So, all right, here we. Hey, Metal.
Oh, hey.
Sorry, I was reading the ad page there. Well, thank you for stepping in here. Yeah, she messaged me this afternoon saying that something came up and she had to take care of something, but she said that she'd be available in like 3 weeks. So, and I didn't even realize this. I didn't even remember to put your name down for the 17th until I looked at it. But I did today. So have you for the 17th next and her for the 24th. So,
Yeah. No, we don't have anything planned over here today, so I'm just sitting at my drawing table. But I've got the mic over here and the monitor turned so I can see what you're talking about while I'm over doing this.
yeah, and well, and again, half attentive commentary is better than none. Right? These shows really do work better when you have somebody to kind of play off of, somebody to bounce stuff off of. So
Yeah. And, you've been so kind to move me around this month that it's like if I got a free day, I should jump in.
well, I thank you for that. That's I appreciate that. All right, so let's continue on. Then after all, I'm sure people wanting to see more than just the prize page.
No, this is the best part of the whole comic. That's the only reason you buy it. Is to see the ads, Like, obviously, they know that's what you want to see. They shove so many in your face.
I don't know if that was as much the case back then. Maybe more nowadays, but I don't know.
It depends on the comic. I've seen some older, like, vintage ones where you go through and there's, like, 10 ads in the comic for, like, 60 pages, and you're like, 1/6 of this comic is ads.
Yeah.
This one is probably not one of the worst ones. Most of them, maybe they had like 5 ad stops.
Right. Well, I'm gonna, and this story in particular grabbed my attention when I was previewing, and I'll explain in a moment why I picked it. The name of the villain here is, as I explained earlier, when we're looking at the cover, of course, the name of the villain in this story is Dr. Death. Of course, a common villain's name in the time of these more noir type comics, right?
I don't think my health insurance is going to let me go see a Dr. Death.
I don't think any insurance would, right? Well, that's another reason too. And when you look at this guy, when I explain what at least what I see with this guy, you can tell how much of an attention getter it will be as soon as I bring the page down here. All right, so now look at him. Now, Metal, let me ask you something. Does he remind you of anybody, particularly anybody in comics from around that same time?
Well, I mean, he looks like a racial stereotype. Hmm.
A racial stereotype?
Yeah, yeah. He's got like a very like Chinese Oriental facial structure to it.
Actually, that's not what I had noticed,
Oh
but
yeah.
but now but
Yeah,
now,
and you can
now
see like the way his facial hair is growing too, and it's like,
well that's not exactly what I had noticed or where I was going with it, but that's another interesting piece too. But again, let me reiterate the second part of my statement there. Does he kind of remind you of any other characters that might have been around that same time period?
not really. No,
He doesn't.
no, not particularly.
Uh, Green business suit, green mask, fedora there, cape.
I might just not be familiar with the character.
Well, when I first saw this guy, the thing that caught my attention is, in terms of his costume, in terms of his overall look, he reminds me of the Golden Age Sandman.
See, I don't remember what the Golden Age Sandman looks like, so maybe, sure, absolutely, but it wouldn't have been in my head.
All right, yeah. Well, because he wore a very similar looking suit like that. That's what grabbed my attention. But yeah. So that was before he went with a more traditional superhero costume. But there were a lot of heroes and even some villains that were kind of going with the whole business suit, um, mask and fedora type look. So,
Oh yeah,
anyway,
I kind of see it now. I had to go look up some pictures of it. It's been a while since I looked at the original Sandman.
okay. So now that you have, like, but you could
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you could see the similarities, maybe.
Absolutely. Like, obviously, there's color palette differences. The mask looks very different, right?
Mhm.
Like, classic Sandman looks more like the type of mask, like a gas mask almost, but without the breathalyzer in the front.
Right.
And this guy, like I said, he looks like a Chinese man.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't even quite notice that part of it when I looked at it. To me, the only thing that stuck out was in terms of his overall look, he looked kind of like the Sandman, and that's what grabbed
Yeah,
my
yeah, and they
attention.
tried to give him a red cape instead of a purple one. I think that's also the big thing that threw me off because the part of the look for Sandman that stayed long term was the purple cape.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I did say similar. I didn't say exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, I'm not thinking of the Golden Age Sandman. So like, if I'm thinking Sandman, the only thing that pops in my head is like the purple cape.
Uh, all right. So now, anyways, I'll get to the reading here. Found found in an extinct volcano, the last of a dead civilization, White Streak carries on single-handed to preserve the ideals of the old civilization, protection of the weak and defenseless. Dr. Death, the greatest war criminal known to mankind, runs afoul of the White Streak, breaker of warmongers and profiteers, who has promised to capture this master criminal. A strange knock at the door of a hideaway. Put that right away, Slim. No need to be jittery. That must be the doc. Okay, I'll let him in. I'm sorry. Go. It's him. It's him, all right, Baldy. Stand aside and let me in, fool. I hope you don't blame us for staring. I've never seen you before. You must be 7 feet tall, and your voice sounds like a radio. A perfect disguise. All right, man. A perfect disguise, my fine friend. But but I have more important things on my mind, such as getting rid of the streak once and for all.
Yeah,
And
here,
that's
here.
where you and your men come in, Baldy. I know I'm not.
I could take a break from drawing. You want me to do the voice of Dr. Death? I can make my microphone sound like an old radio.
Well, that and if you can try to do the Chinese accents, you're the one.
I don't know if I'm going to make him sound Chinese or not, but I could definitely make the voice sound like an old radio.
All right, why don't you do it? You don't mind? I know you don't.
Yeah, I could take a quick break from what I'm doing.
All right. How are we gonna find the streak?
Just give me a sec.
All right. While you're getting ready there, let's see if anybody else has popped in. Nope.
Okay. Oh, no, that's a little too much. Wait.
Sounds like you got a little too much reverb there.
Okay. Oh.
Yikes.
Hold up. Okay. Nope.
Or we're just waiting for Metal to make some adjustments to try to pull this off here. Yeah, so hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday. Where today is Sunday, April 26th. We're almost
Okay, in the middle of doing something, for some reason now my headphones aren't picking, or my computer's not picking up my headphones, which is why that sharp reverb was happening. I might actually, you'll just have to continue reading without me. Scrap the plan. I have to restart my computer and I'll be back in.
all right.
or else it's not going to pick up my headphones. And the only reason you're not getting like a sharp reverb is because I had to mute you to be able to talk right now. I'll be back.
Okay.
Just continue without me. Go on to what you were doing.
All right. So I guess Metal will be leaving us for a moment, but coming back. But we will continue reading while he's gone. Hopefully, when he comes back, everything will at least be ready to go. So, anyways, all right. So, quite simple. As you know, the Streak captured one of my agents, Mr. Messon. The Streak plans to turn him over to the FBI. That's where you'll find him. In other words, you expect us to go to the FBI? Yes. He's crazy, Baldy. Going to the FBI is like inviting a trip to Alcatraz. Calm down, Bo. With quick thrust inside his jacket, Doctor Death draws a lightning-shaped dagger, which he hurls at Slim. What? His skin's turning gray. Yes, a pet invention of mine. Once it strikes flesh, it burns the vital tissues. That's why his skin turned gray. I never liked that yellow rat. Now what, Doc? It's up to you, Baldy. You're to go to the FBI, where you'll deliver this message to Messon. Messon? That's right. You'll know this dagger. You'll use this dagger. Understand? But they'll get me for sure. No, they won't. I'll see to that. They'll only trail you, and you'll lead them to my place, where I'll take care of Mr. White Streak. Right. Later at FBI headquarters, my name is Sims. I had a message from the Streak. Oh yes, you'll find him in the office with Inspector Quinn. Hello, Streak. Sims, you're just in time to hear. Mission, squawk his hear Messon squawk his head off about Dr. Death's fifth column activities. Okay, Messon, begin. It was all part of Dr. Death's plan. The blowing up of the Neptia was an effort to involve the U.S. in a war. With surprising swiftness, Messon makes a break for freedom. Get him, Streak! Get him, Streak! He's going to the window. Let me go! Think I saved you from the submarine? So think I saved you from the submarine so you could commit suicide now? Then suddenly he goes limp as a lightning-shaped dagger crashes through the window and what the there's a message on the dagger. It came from the building across the way. Someone's climbing down the fire escape. Streak, this message is from Dr. Death. He warns you to stay out of his way or else. Dr. Death, huh? Say, there goes Messon's killer. I'll pick him off with my electrons. Wait, trail him. Instead, perhaps you'll get some information on Dr. Death. That's an idea. I'll do that. Something's funny. A murderer remaining in plain view and making no haste to get away. Like it sounds like the white streak there is maybe getting suspicious there that maybe all is not as it would appear to be. And I'm guessing the guy with the monocle, well, no, it's not who I thought it was. But anyways, hopefully Metal will be able to join me again here. And no, he said he had to restart his computer. So hopefully everything's all right. But anyway, as we continue on with the story here, actually, I do need to go off camera here for a moment. I'm going to put some music on for a quick moment while I take care of something real quick. I'll be right back on. I just remembered that I forgot a few things there, in fact. Got to do that for one thing. And I'll be right back. So you came back to. I was going to go off camera for a quick moment, so to take care of something real quick. So if you want to talk to the chat for a moment, and then when I come back, I'll continue reading.
Yeah, I had a real problem with apparently the extension cable I use for my headphones died. That's why we were getting all the feedback and stuff. It wasn't registering that I had headphones plugged in anymore. It was just like straight up what's it called? the speakers from my laptop. So it was coming back through the mic, and that's why we were getting feedback. And it happened because I made, I think, probably too quick of a movement, and it's a really old headphone extender that was bound to just cut out eventually. And today was today, unfortunately. So I had to basically get rid of the extender. That was the issue, and plug my smaller headphone cable that is attached directly to the headphone into my microphone, because that's the only way it would reach me right now. Normally, I have it plugged directly into the computer, which gives me slightly more control. Right now, I have it plugged into the Yeti microphone that's sitting in front of me.
Okay, so
Complicated technological stuff, you know.
So you can at the very least still do commentary, right?
Yeah. I just can't fiddle with my effects or anything like that. You know?
So you don't want to try again what you were trying before?
No, because I don't want to accidentally, because it's over at my computer. There's a gap between us, so I'd even have to take my headphones off to walk over there without risking maybe even damaging my headphones' actual cable.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, fair enough. All right. Well, I'll continue with the reading then. Thanks for
Yeah,
again.
it was just an unfortunate circumstance. We were gonna try something cool. My cable broke.
That happens. But anyways, let's get back to this story then. So, in a flash, the street drops to the street below. This may be a trap, but this guy is actually waiting for someone to follow him. It is a trap. Suddenly, two G-men rush out of the FBI building. There goes Messon's killer! Halt, or we'll fire! Uh, oh, Dr. Death crossed me.
Yeah, you trusted somebody named Dr. Death?
As the G-men draw their guns, the streak flashes his electrons. He cut our guns in half. And I thought he was on our side. Let's get him. I still am, but that killer is going to lead me to a bigger game. I hate to do this to you boys, but meanwhile, Baldy runs amok. Now, there was a term that was used more back in that time period than you hear nowadays. Do you know
Maybe.
what?
I
Do
know
you
my
know what?
mom used to say I ran amok all the time.
Well, I guess since your mom used it in reference to you, do you know what the term amok means?
Oh man, dude, I was a troublemaker, running around, always just causing trouble, being hazardous to other people. So I'm going to assume that's what it meant. Somebody
Kind
was
of
just kind of like
mischievous, or
running wild with no discrimination towards anything around them.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know there was, of course, a Looney Tunes or Merry Melodies cartoon called Duck Amuck that starred Daffy Duck. Um, so, okay. In an effort to get away, get out! I need this car. The murdering dog. He won't get far in that auto. The streak flashes his eyes, and sharp electrons cut away a wheel of the fleeing auto. I'm gonna crash! The second flash and the streak, a second flash and the streak races across space on his electric ladder, splitting, piercing electrons down, or spurting, piercing electrons down on the car. No, you won't. Then, like an acrobat, the streak hangs by his feet, pulling Baldy to safety as the auto crashes into a brick wall. Thanks, Streak. Thanks. You're welcome. Pow! If you think I saved you for yourself, you're crazy. Don't reach for that rod. Try and stop me. Rod. I wonder if rod was just another name for gun in this case. Because this story they're using.
Yeah, could be.
I guess it looks like it because, look, there's a gun flying.
I think I've heard some people call it a blasting rod before, but typically I would assume that would refer to like a rifle. It would be a... But I guess if you're already referring to rifles that, you wouldn't have a problem calling a pistol that either. Because a rifle already looks more like a blasting rod.
Yeah. There. Yow! You're gonna break my arm! Somebody just knocked at the door. Let me Metal, if you can entertain the crowd for a moment while I'm done.
Candygram for Mongo. Yeah, I'd imagine you probably wouldn't want to be holding a firearm, especially one that is made majority out of metal. Even like a wooden gripped pistol rifle, there's still too much metal in it that you're probably going to strike. When fighting against somebody who can manipulate electrons and create electricity, it seems like a pretty bad idea. Though, I don't think it would ultimately matter. If the guy wanted you dead, he could just lightning you, regardless of what you had. Probably even if you showed up in a full rubber suit. Well, if you're properly grounded, maybe it would just go around you into the ground, but still, not a smart idea. I wonder how well known this character is in this world at this point. Like, I wasn't paying attention as much because I was trying to fix my equipment, but is he the type of guy that the villains or the criminals, when they see him, they immediately know who he is? Are they a group of idiots that are deciding we're going to do crime on the turf of somebody who can electrocute us at any moment? I think this is also probably one of the reasons why eventually most comics end up skewing towards supervillains as like the only problem. Because after a while, it just doesn't make sense why a normal criminal would decide to do any violent crime on the turf of a superhero, right? Like, I could see petty theft, when somebody's not looking. I could see fraud and stuff like that. But like, if a superhero has been doing stuff in his hood for like 3 years or so, you'd think people would just kind of give up if they weren't a supervillain.
Yeah. think we had a bit of a ding dong ditch kind of scenario. That's who was. Apparently, my sister believes it was some kid knocking at the door and then taking off or whatever.
I love Ding Dong Ditch. I haven't done that in years.
Well, I would think as an adult you wouldn't do that.
No, I'm pretty sure the last time I did it, I was an adult.
Oh boy. Anyways, back to the comic here. Let's see now. All right, so yeah. Oh, yeah, we. All right, so yeah, we were actually on our way back up, so we can turn the page, as it were. I ought to break your neck as well. Come on, punk. Up with you. You're going to take me to Dr. Death. I'll get you for this. There's a streak in Baldy. They're wanted by the FBI. Both are suspected of conspiracy with Dr. Death after them. After them. What's this? More police cars. They got me surrounded. A blast of electrons burst from the streak's eyes, and an electronic pole forms in his hand. Well, look at that. That thing looks like a lightning.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if when the Super Friends created Black Vulcan, I wonder if they got at least some of the inspiration from that right there.
Maybe, I don't know. I just know that one, lightning doesn't work that way. Right? It's plasma. But two, also you wouldn't need to pole vault with it, right? Like you could do a different way. You could just like blast the lightning and ride the force up, right?
Well, I hadn't even
Newton's
looked
third
over
law
the
of
second
equal and
panel
opposite.
yet.
Yeah.
I'd better get out of here before someone gets hurt. A short run and the streak pole vaults over the police ring. And lands safely. The police got that bald-headed fellow. Now what? I've got it. Shortwave radio. That's one way of making contact with Dr. Death, and Professor Sims has one of those sending sets. Sending set? You have any idea what a sending set? Because I've never heard that term before.
No, not off the top of my head. Sounds like stationary, but I guarantee you that's not what they're talking about.
Yeah. I think it had something. The reason I asked it had something to do with radios or something like that. I thought maybe you might have known, but
It could be. I haven't heard that name, but when it comes to radio, you have a receiver for actually picking up waves and hearing, but you need some type of like. No, you have a speaker for picking up, but you need a receiver, right? So, like, I'm guessing the sending set is probably the receiver, like for actually sending waves out instead of just picking it in.
Huh. All right. Anyways, getting ready to continue on here. Okay. So, as the streak reaches Sims' house, piercing screams fill the air. Help! Help! Sounds like a girl. It is. Who's that cloaked figure she's struggling with? His face looks like a skeleton. It's Dr. Death. So apparently, in the story, it was a skeleton, not a Chinese man.
Yeah, well, they made him very gaunt, but I think it was the facial hair that really made him seem Chinese to me.
I would have thought it. I don't know. I would have thought it might have been the overbite there.
I don't even know if I noticed the overbite.
It seems what it is like. The way his teeth were. I'm guessing that looked like an overbite at least. With his blasting electrons, the streak cuts his way into the room. Let her go.
The streak! You blessed fool! I'll settle with you!
Pow!
How's that, hero?
That felt like an iron fist. The streak, dazed, flashes sharp electrons at Dr. Death.
Ha! This ray gun of mine has dissolved your electrons. They're powerless.
Huh?
Too bad I had prevented you, but this blast will knock you out while I take care of the girl. She passed out while I was taking care of the streak. Ha! Someone's calling for Sims. I'd better clear out.
Hey, Sims, where are you? Dropping the girl on the floor, Dr. Death disappears. Through the entrance the streak made, maybe he's in here. Look, there's a streak. And a young lady. That gun is sure powerful. Snap out of it, Streak. What happened? Oh, it's you, Quinn. I heard the girl scream. I blasted my way in and found her being manhandled by Dr. Death. He used a ray gun on me. That's all I remember. What are you doing here? Looking for Sims. Thought he might know where you were. But that's unnecessary now. You're under arrest, Streak. Arrest for what? Trying to help Messon's murderer escape. Quinn, the girl's trying to say something. Easy now.
Waterfront Lab. Oh.
Waterfront Lab? Why, that's Sim's laboratory. I wonder who she is.
Oh, hey, Natasha's here. My internet has decided to be unreliable today. That's okay. Everything's decided to be unreliable today. Right?
Actually, that's
Co-host had to cancel. I had to come in. Headphone cord breaks. I had to restart. It's just an unreliable day.
Comedy of errors, and that's actually Natsuri Metal. She's one of our regulars. So.
Oh no, I recognize, but the username says Natasha. So.
Well, thanks for popping in, Netzer. I hope you'll enjoy the show. She's dead. She's dead, Quinn. And this photo shows who she was. Sim's niece, Betty. I'll have to hurry. I think I know who her killer is. So long, boys. You can't do that. You're under arrest. Let him go. Once I reach the waterfront lab, my job will be done. He's pretty confident. Meanwhile, at the waterfront laboratory,
Tell the guards to be on the alert. We might have visitors. Yes, sir.
yes, sir. At that moment, the streak drops on the roof. Soundlessly, the streak enters through the roof. Guards, I'll take care of them. Pleasant dream, boys. My X-ray eyes show more guards. Well, I'll have to take care of them too. A yellow ray for X-rays. That's a new one, I think.
I guess you need to pick some color to stand out from the background.
And whitish gray probably wouldn't, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. They could have just like not colored it. They could have just left it the paper color. I guess that would have also worked, but
noiselessly, the streak moves through half-lighted corridors. There are 3. This is going to be fun. Psst. Huh? Hey, it's the streak. Not so loud, chump. As the other 2 rush forward, the streak's sharp electrons cut a jagged hole in the floor. What in? And both men hurtle down, screaming. So long, tough guys. Here comes another one. You can join your buddies. And that takes care of Dr. Death's henchmen.
I like calling people chumps. It's a fun word.
Well, now they show the guy's actual face there.
Yeah, he still looks kind of Chinese. Not gonna lie.
Actually, the hair, particularly in the second panel, the one on the right there, he kind of, at least with the hair there, the way it is, he actually looks like Hitler.
Yeah, they might have been doing that. Like, maybe the artist was trying to go for like, if you took Hitler's face and you sucked all the fat out of it to make him look more like a skull, right? But the problem is there are certain aspects of it, like the mustache goes way too long off of the lip and everything. The way like the goatee was done, he just looks like a really big Chinaman.
Yeah.
It's like I could see what you're picking up, and I could see maybe that was the artist's intention. I just don't think he executed it very well.
And his skin's green. I wonder what.
Mm-hmm.
The white streak.
Right, Doc. With lightning speed, the streak crashes into Dr. Death's midriff. Oof! Regaining his balance, the Streak hammers away at Dr. Death. He's going with a shot to the stomach there in the ribs.
Oh, dude, listen, if you're gonna take somebody down, body shots are the best. It's an easier target to hit, but also can just take like all the power and stamina out of the person that you're fighting. So,
well, yeah. I mean, you're beating up on the ribs, the lungs, and all. Well, I don't know if the lungs are more in the back or what, but basically, a lot harder to breathe. I mean, even if you get them in the solar plexus in particular.
Yeah, you could end up knocking the wind out of somebody if you hit them hard enough in the solar plexus while they're breathing. Body shots. You could also possibly tag the end of the liver on the right side, and that can make somebody just drop to their knees.
Actually, as we're talking about the whole idea with the solar plexus and stuff, it reminds me of an episode of MIKESTAND.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen that anime before or not.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah. That's in part payment for that sock you gave me. He's out cold now to verify my suspicions. Sharp electrons lance through space and separate Dr. Death's head from his shoulders. I thought so. A false head with a combination microphone and periscope. Concealed inside. Whoa!
Yeah, so he was like on just a bet, like on a gut instinct, willing to decapitate a guy. Like what if he was wrong? What if that was a person?
Well, I think he's a android. I think.
No, yeah, I'm picking that up. It seems like it was probably mechanical, but like, what if he was wrong and that was just a person? He's like, gut instinct. I'm gonna decapitate him with lightning.
Well, it's not like
good thing he was right.
Not like there were any witnesses that would.
See, it was just a puppet.
Yeah,
there was a person in there.
With swift and expert movements, the Streak strips Dr. Death, and a familiar figure is revealed. Sims. Surprised? No, I suspected, but had no definite proof, since your disguise was perfect. What made you suspect me?
Listen, Streak, you got to take a guy out to dinner first before you start stripping him.
Oh boy. I don't know why I didn't. Oh. Okay.
It's okay. I've got multiple legal names.
Messon's murder. You were the only one who knew I was taking him to the FBI. And the instant he was killed, you said there was a note on that dagger. Before you could actually see the dagger. Wow, that's an interesting thing. Then, in your home, you have an extremely strong shortwave sending and receiving set. Yeah, it probably is a radio set, I guess, but no license to operate it. Then the murder of your niece. And to top it off, you're one of the greatest electrical experts in the country. And only an expert could invent such a powerful ray gun as you have. But one thing puzzles me. Why did you kill your niece? She learned who I really was and threatened to expose me. You won, Streak, and I lost. Yes. And since the law demands death for murder, it's a bit ironic that you chose the name Dr. Death. The end. Next month, another complete white streak. Picture action stop. All right, Metal. So, overall impressions of this story?
Overall impressions. I think the guy needs a better name. I think that's definitely because he sounds like the type of guy, white streak, that might strip somebody without taking them on a date first. Um, I think it played out well enough. For a comic that's probably aimed at the way this reads at the time. Maybe 13-year-olds was their target audience. Like it did reads well enough for a comic for 13-year-olds.
Yeah, maybe an older demographic.
Yeah, like the mid-range.
Yeah.
We're not selling this to like elementary school students.
Well, the thing is too, if you really think about it too, with what we do know about media in general around that time, whether it be comics or the animated shorts that were shown in theaters, they were not just necessarily just for kids per se. They were we've seen a lot in a lot of the stories we read from the comic side of it, where the stories could appeal to both adults and younger readers, like teenagers and maybe even depending upon the comic, obviously.
Well, this is something I always have to bring up a lot when people talk about, say, like Japanese media now, and they wonder, like, how do you let kids read this? And the thing is, like, even in America, prior to the Comics Code Authority, we kind of worked the same way, where you kind of just let the demographic push the market, right? So it's like what kids would actually be buying would be what you'd see more of across different age ranges, because kids would just take their allowance and go to a newsstand. Nobody was really like stopping them from buying anything unless it was like explicitly adult only, and that would be in the back, and they would sell that to kids, right? And that's kind of like how it is in Japan now. And our entire interpretation of how that market should work changed because of things like the Comics Code Authority later on, from where we are in comics right now on the screen.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because, the Comics Code Authority, its influence died out around 2010, 2011, around there. That's when the last of the, I believe, if I remember correctly, from what I remember reading about this, I believe it was DC, Archie, and maybe one other company that were still using it then. But by 2010, 2011, it pretty much, the whole influence, the whole thing with it pretty much died out.
Yeah.
So
though I would say its influence is completely gone. There's residual effects that are just part of the culture of it, but it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. And to your point, about what you were talking about when people, ask, well, the Japanese will let their kids read some of the stuff that's in there. Obviously, Japanese culture and how they raise their kids is different from what we do now here in America.
But I mean, just saying, it's like oddly similar to how it used to be back here. Because we just had more faith in kids, right? At the time, like we would just let them kind of go out and do things. Part of it was just because of the state of the world, right? When in more tumultuous times, you're kind of less puritanical on what kids can and can't do. It's not even so much that the kids are more mature; it's just like the society around them is more mature, right? But then as things get better later on, you start getting mostly nosy mothers here in American culture that you're like, oh no. Or actually not even necessarily nosy mothers. A lot of the people pushing stuff were people who didn't have children of their own, like women who were like mothering other people's children through proxy. And we see this happen many, many times. And I think the Comics Code Authority even came up for the exact same reason as, say, like the Motion Picture Association's rating system did,
Yeah,
and then
Hayes
later
Code, Hayes Code from back in
the
the 30s.
ESRB for video games in the 90s was it's like, listen, these people are complaining. We'll either let you self-regulate or we'll regulate, but we're going to give you the option to do it yourself first. And every single time the industry decides to self-regulate instead.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I know particularly with the comic, because of course we've talked about the Comics Code Authority numerous times on the show here, and that a lot of that came, obviously came about from some of it came about from the research of Dr. Frederick Worthen, but also, a lot of what was driving it was a lot of parents were complaining to the authorities, hey, look, I don't want my kids exposed to this. Can't you do something to stop it?
Yeah, but almost every single time those movements happen, it's never started by parents. It's usually some like nosy person gets the parents riled up, right? Like they start bringing to their attention, they start convincing it it's bad. It's usually some childless person that then convinces a whole bunch of parents to jump on the movement, and then the government takes action. Almost every single time. Even prohibition started that way.
Yeah. Basically, you'd argue that a lot of these movements were more started by somebody who basically didn't have anything better to do with their lives or selves, so they just they just butt into everybody else's lives, right?
I thought they were improving society.
I think if you think about it, that kind of feels
today.
a little, at least on some levels, that feels like aspects of today's culture as well.
Oh yeah. It never stopped. It's just how it's been. It's
I think nowadays a lot of it comes from the soccer moms.
Oh yeah. But oddly enough, I watched a video on this that went through the history. It's kind of all tied to Quakers.
It's all tied to what?
The Quakers.
The Quakers?
Yeah, it's all tied to the Quakers. It's like an aspect of their culture that has outlived them. That's kind of just part of American culture, which is why it tends to happen here before it happens anywhere else in the world.
Well, I think the Quakers still are around. I think they still live.
In very, very small amounts, they're still Quakers. But I mean, it's an aspect from when their culture was bigger and everywhere that has outlived their culture. Like it has spread further than what is the reaches of the Quakers today.
Yeah. Well, I think, as far as I know, the highest population of Quakers is still in Western Pennsylvania. I do know there are some churches, some Friends churches out there, Quaker. I guess that's what they call. I think they call their churches like Friends churches or Society of Church. I know.
Yeah, because Quakers don't have actual church buildings. That's not what they do. They'll meet at like houses or whatever, and they have outdoor services.
Mm-hmm. Well, Quakers, as far as from what I understand, just have foregone modern conveniences.
Well, it depends on what sect you were in. There were a lot of different Quakers, but like the concept of like
depicted, like the ones I've usually seen depicted are the ones who still will live, to where, again, they'll still do everything by candlelight and all that. So
yeah, but that's like where the concept of like social justice comes from Quakers. It's all the Quakers' fault.
Well, the Quakers, they are a Christian sect, aren't they?
Yeah. But in some ways, they're also like the least Christian sect. They don't believe that the Bible is more important than your internal spiritual like connection, like your internal revelation. Like the Quakers believe that internal revelation tops the authority of the Bible.
So basically, they believe that individuals' personal interpretation, in other words, if they think that God tells them to do something, they won't try to verify that against what the Bible says on the
Yeah. They won't lean into scripture. That's just like lived experience. It was the lived experience of the time.
All right. Well, interesting history lesson there. So, ready to get on to the next story?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whenever.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna head out west, quote unquote, as we're gonna check out Bullseye Bill next here in the same book. It's more towards the end of the book. So, but as we're going along here, of course, we will Space Hawk. Interesting look for the aliens, right? What they thought aliens look like.
Yeah, aliens could just look like anything, right? It's like just get creative with it.
And then here's a movie in page form, but some comics were doing at the time. Quick change artist here. There's a text story. Lucky Bird, Flying Cadet. T-Men. Calling 2R. Chameleon by Bill Everett. Bullseye Bill, here we go. Bullseye Bill. Bullseye Bill leased the Target Ranch to United Pictures for their new Western picture, Wild Mesa, starring Tex O'Connor. When J. Walter Simpson, producer director, first offered to lease the ranch, Bill refused. After Tex O'Connor attempt to force his attentions on D. Parsons, but D. joined Simpson in arguing against Bill, and he finally agreed to lease the ranch. He agreed to lease the ranch for $10,000. To his amazement, Simpson accepted the terms. Later, Bill tried to learn what interest Dee had in the matter, but she avoided the question by asking Bill what he was going to name the baby cougar he found in the cave. As the story opens, the movie company has arrived, and Bill and some of the cowboy extras are having a little pistol practice. Oh, look at that.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, so I'll be back.
All right. Call that good shooting? Want to see if you can do any better, Mr. Tex O'Connor? Let me have a quarter. I'll show you what I can do. Here's your 2 bits. Watch this, wise guy. I can do this in my sleep. Actually, I guess I should wait for him to come back so he can commentate on it. I went ahead. I'll start over when he gets back. But anyways, friendly reminder to everybody, of course, if you guys haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability.
I am back.
Or, well, answer the questions to the best of our ability. Yeah, I decided, well, after the narration, I decided to start from, because I kind of read it, but should have realized I should have waited for you to come back because so you can commentate on it if you had anything. But anyways, so call that good shooting. Want to see if you can do any better, Mr. Tex O'Connor? Let me have that quarter. I'll show you what I can do. Here's your 2 bits. Watch this, wise guy. I can do this in my sleep. It's sure been plugged, but I can do it every time. I'm trying to figure out the one in the green hat and green, if that's the guy or a girl right there. Hard to tell because of how they colored it. He'd won a lot of dough with that stunt. Yeah. I guess that is her. That's I guess. He's won a lot of dough with that stunt. Yep. Mean he's bet money on shooting 2-bit pieces like this. Maybe that is a guy. Like the way they painted and colored that, it's kind of hard to tell.
No, I think it's just a bunch of dudes.
Yeah. Well, because the only reason I was thinking it might have been a girl because it looked like sometimes they have the I guess ponytail or whatever coming down the sides or whatever, and and considering that there is a girl D involved in this, that's why I was wondering. Yeah, plenty. Wow, that dirty sidewinder. Come on, get on location, you fellows. We're doing the stampede scene. For 2 cents, what's it all about? That 2-bit piece I gave him was Mex. The one I got here is American. He palmed mine and flipped one that was already plugged. That's why he was so ready to bet on that trick.
Absolutely. Happens all the time.
He's a cheater. Wouldn't you say there, Metal?
Oh, yeah. And there's people who used to do that, but like nobody, even the best crack shots, had like 100% rate. Like maybe they'd have a pretty good time shooting that one day, right? Like they might hit all the targets that day, but over the long term, the best anybody's ever gotten like was maybe 80% pull in. Because the problem is like guns started getting more accurate at that time because we started having machined parts with spiral barrels and stuff like that. But they still weren't as accurate as they would be, say, like 50 years later. So it's like as good of a shot you could be, people were still missing like 2 out of 10 times at the best.
It shows us here. Hey, everybody, where's Sabrina? Well, I got a message from her this afternoon that something had come up. She wasn't going to be able to make the show tonight. So So I was able to get Metal to come in for tonight. She will be back with us though on the 24th, so May 24th. So but yeah, I guess something came up she had to take care of and wasn't able to come tonight.
Yeah, and I just happened to be around.
Yeah, so
That's also why for my subtitle I put definitely not Sabrina.
well, yeah, and you're definitely no teenage witch.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna show that four-flusher up if he's not worth it. What's D arguing with Simpson about? Oh, so there's D right there. Look, I tell you, it can't be done. Why not? Here, what's the argument about? You see what I was talking about right there? See the red marks here?
Yeah, I think that's just supposed to be like shading though.
Yeah.
But like the neck.
That one particular red mark right there, at least, kind of looks like, a ponytail coming down. That's why it got thrown off there.
Yeah, but it's like if you look over, it's the same red used around the wrists on the other guy to show that like it's inside the shadow of the sleeve.
All right. So, anyways, carrying on to the next page here. Miss Carroll, the girl who doubles for Texas leading lady, isn't feeling well, and Miss Parsons wants to do the scenes in her place. Make him listen, Bill. Why can't you wait till Miss Carroll is feeling better? Because they went to a lot of trouble getting the cattle ready. Besides, it's a long shot, and it won't make any difference who doubles. It's too dangerous. Miss Carroll is paid for those risks. You're not.
Ooh, that is true. That's the reason why you get like specific stunt doubles. There's people like they get paid extreme amounts because like they're ready for those risks and they're talented enough to take them too.
Well, it's not just that, but I would imagine that in all that, with all that experience and stuff, they obviously, it obviously saves them from, potential lawsuits too. When,
Oh yeah, all kinds of things involved.
I certainly ought to be able to take care of myself. I was born on a ranch. She won't. She won't have to worry, JW. I'll see that nothing goes wrong. You're not working in this scene, Tex. It's a rescue shot. Your double's doing it. I've decided not to use my double unless I'm tired. I'll do this myself and make sure D isn't hurt. There, see? I wonder what could be going on there. Because, okay, go back to like the first part of the story. Bill there is maybe a little concerned that D is like getting involved in this stuff and stuff like that. What do you think could be going on there?
What you think they're kind of hot on each other or
Yeah, I mean, you would think so, maybe. Yeah, at least that seems to be where this seems to be going. But
Yeah, all I know
again,
is
we could
directors
be
hate it
wrong. I mean,
when an actor says that. They absolutely would prefer a double do the shot because it's like even if it's like Tom Cruise says this all the time and he freaks directors out because it's like we can always replace the double if they get hurt. You know, if you get hurt, even if you don't die, it's like that sets the movie back 6 months while you recover.
yeah. But if you die in the scene, then
Yeah,
that
the movie's gone. We have to reshoot everything, replace the lead.
yeah, I get. I mean, I think one of the few times where I think they kind of lucked out or something like that because they had basically done all of the scenes where I remember hearing about an actor who died during the filming of a movie, but they ended up lucking out because they'd already done pretty much the majority of his scenes. Was The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, all right. Break your full necks, both of you. Come on, honey. Let's get in place. Get ready, everybody. I suppose you know what you're doing. Of course. Something I've always wanted to do. Play in pictures. Ah.
That is not the answer you want to hear.
Yeah. Okay, chicken. But I'm getting a little tired of pulling your chestnuts out of the fire. Oh. Tex Connor enters the argument. Didn't even see that before. All right, everybody understand now? Miss Parsons, don't forget to run for your horse when the stampede starts. All set, Tex? Certainly. Don't worry about Dee. I'll get to her in time. Gee, I hope he does. You think it's more than just simply being concerned about her safety that she's saying that?
You know, I would hope not, but it does seem to be the case.
Yeah. Like maybe she's thinking, man, I wouldn't mind this gorgeous actor just taking me up in his arms.
I don't know. I try not to get into the headspace of a woman.
I guess for most of us guys, it probably is the wisest thing to do, right?
Well, yeah, because women understand women and they hate each other.
Start the shooting, Tex. Watch for your signal. All right, let him roll. I'd sure hate to be in front of them cattle now. The fear-maddened cattle charge down on Dee. Following her roll, she permits her horse to run away. Hey, what? Hey, whoa! Come back here. I'm coming, honey. As Tex Connor grabs Dee. Grab tight, I've. He loses his balance. Hey, what the? Well, let's see what happens here. The charging steers. Thunder down on D and Tex. Look at him come. We've got to run for it. I can't. My ankle sprained. Head for the pass. We still can make it. Tex, wait. Oh, he's a nice guy, isn't he? Oh boy. He's a gem, isn't he? There, Metal. Metal. Oh, something must have happened. I don't know. Maybe maybe he'll be back. But I mean that's a. I'll give him a few minutes. I'll give him a minute or so to see if he comes back. He was having some technical issues earlier, so maybe he might have mismoved or something like that. But anyways, yeah. But that's a real peach of a move. Yeah, leave the hurt lady behind. So that my LMAO, my computer crashed. What a day. I guess. Do you think you can come back in, or you just want to? Is it just kaput for today? If you can come back in, I'll give you a sec to get back in here. Hour 37. I'm on my way back. All right, so we'll give you a few minutes, give you a couple minutes here to get back in here before I continue reading. So again, everybody, if you haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people to engage. That'd be appreciated. And of course, as always, if anything grabs your attention here, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the question to the best of my ability. Actually, I need to go off camera here for a quick moment, so I'm going to put some music on while I'm gone, while we're waiting on Metal to come back. And I'll be back. All right. Anyways. All right, and we're just waiting for see if Metal come back and join us here. So hopefully you guys are liking the story. I know we only got the 2 stories thus far. Might try to hit. I did have 4 intended for tonight. Might at best get through 3 of them. There we go. Hey, Metal.
Hey, you listen. All my equipment's old, okay?
What was that?
Listen, all of my equipment is old, so bear with me.
Yeah, you told me that before. Did you knock your cord out again or something like that? Or
No, this time it just crashed. Like I was sitting here, I was listening to you comic and everything while drawing, and all of a sudden, sound stopped, and I looked at the screen, and nothing was moving. So I went to go over to move my mouse, and I'm like, oh, the computer froze up. So I had to like force shut down and then start it back up again.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if you had heard the part about that last scene there where he. I was asking you if the guy. Don't you think the guy's a real peach for leaving the girl behind when her ankle sprained as they were?
Oh, yeah, that's a horrible thing to do. You just pick her up, carry her.
Uh-huh.
You know, she's just a woman. It just can't be that heavy.
Mm-hmm. Just go to show you the kind of person this Tex Connor is, doesn't it? All right. So, anyways, continue on to the next panel here. In the meantime, on a nearby knoll, Bullseye Bill has been watching. Why the dirty he's gone and left her. I'm not gonna make it. They're going to run her down. Just one thing left to do. And I'm gonna do it. With luck. And look, he I guess he's gonna it looks like he's gonna try to bulldog that steer.
Oh yeah. It's not a very smart idea, but it's an idea. Might pay off.
Dee, brace yourself. Hang tight. Oh, look at that. He's using the steer like a horse. As the crazed steers roar through the pass, they meet the cowboys who have circled to stop them. This is the toughest ride I've had since the El Lamos rodeo. Oh, Bill, what would I do without you? Oh, now she realizes it. You'd probably stay out of trouble. Now, where's that dirty skunk? Bill, what are you going to do? Just watch and see. Come back here, you. Yeah, I'm sure he has at the very least a few choice words for him, to say the least. Bill, stop! You'll kill him. You'll ruin my picture. Don't, Bill, don't. Whew. I don't get it. I don't get this. This penny-wasted movie actor Lilia to get killed and... Wait. You don't understand, Bill. Come on, let's go back to the ranch and see how the baby cougar is. We haven't named him yet, you know? Dee's right. Here I am, a month older, and they haven't named me. Oh, I'm right. Dee's right. Here I am, a month older. They haven't named me. Because Bill can't think of a good name. And why? Why in goodness does Dee keep sticking up for that Tex guy? Well, I'll be seeing you next month in Target Comics. Maybe we'll find out then. So long. All right. Overall impressions. Metal.
I think they're all stupid, but it was a fine story.
You think they're all stupid, but fine story. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see now where we get into. We're already at an hour 45. I was hoping to get to the other book, but we're kind of running short on time here.
There's a lot of technical issues that probably aided in that problem.
Yeah. Well. Anyways, we did get through the two stories of Target Comics. The other two stories we're going to look at were from Blue Bolt number 5, which were Dick Cole and Sub-Zero Man. But with that being said, as such, I did ask you overall impressions of that story, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right, I just remembered that I did. And you said, all right, so, we only got through 2 stories tonight, unfortunately. Talk about a
So
night.
I know what you're going to ask me.
Yeah, well, there's 2 stories, so it'll be obvious.
The answer to one is also the answer to the other. So I'm just going to say I liked the cowboy movie story better than the White Streak.
Yeah. So you did some, well, with only 2 stories, it's kind of like,
It's like, which of the 2 did you like more? That's pretty much just it.
Yeah. In this case, that's what it is, because we didn't have more than 2 tonight. So I always ask that. I mean, but the one thing that I didn't get to ask in that, and in this case, since we only did the 2 stories, didn't do it, make more of a comparative statement here. So you obviously like the cowboy story more than the White Streak story. So what was your reasoning behind that? What made Bullseye Bill more appealing than White Streak?
Well, I think overall it had better pacing. I think that was a strong. It was very wordy, but I don't think that was inherently a bad thing since it was trying to be like a movie, right? Like it was a comic about shooting a movie that was also trying to be like a movie. It was just kind of fun, like it flowed really well. I thought the characters were all stupid, but it wasn't like they were stupid because they were written poorly. They were stupid because they're a bunch of movie actors, and a lot of the ones I've met were also stupid. So they were written pretty well. So I think overall it was just pretty decent.
Yeah.
And everything made sense. I think that was another thing too.
I know of a few people who think the current crop of Hollywood actors these days are pretty stupid.
I think it's been mostly always the case. Like you could always find people throughout Hollywood history that weren't, but like you're basically finding the exceptions.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, and I, of course, as always, but when we, I didn't give. Obviously, you came in late, so I didn't have a chance to give you a chance to promote anything. I'll give you that chance though at the end of the show here. But with that being said, as we are about to start to wind down, and if you can stick around for a couple minutes post show, that'd be appreciated as well. Just wrap things up. But with that being said, of course, tonight, today is Sunday, April the 26th, 2026. So why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this weekend in Nietzsche history. History! So 26, 2006, 25th, 25th. 86 and 20, I believe it was the 20, April 26th of 1996. Yeah, okay. All right. So, with all that being said, let's take a look back at this weekend in each history. So, first, I'll go heading back to yesterday here. 40 years ago, yesterday, back in 1986, is going to bring that up. Of course, a pretty significant thing in music history happened that also had to do with some animation history as well. As 40 years ago yesterday, Peter Gabriel releases his single Sledgehammer, of which the animated music video will become a classic. Sledgehammer, that's when you call my name. Kind of remind people of the song. Have you ever heard that song or seen the video for that?
I've heard the song. I don't think I've ever seen the video for it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing that was, of course, back in those days, back the early, back in the early days, and of 1980s MTV and all that. Back when it was still music television.
Yeah.
You had a lot of.
I was complaining about in your chat like a week ago or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, back in those days when it was still music television and you barely got the long blocks of music videos, they did come up with a lot of creative animations back then. Sledgehammer being one of them. Another one I'm reminded of course, is Aha's "Take on Me."
Yeah.
That one's a pretty memorable one.
Yeah, I've seen that one way too many times.
Yeah.
It's a good song though.
Yeah. Another one, while not animated, was still kind of interesting and colorful. Devo's Whip It.
Yeah.
And wearing those strange hats. You've seen that one, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, they come out with some pretty colorful stuff back then. But
you know who a lot of his music videos were always really into, like, different forms of animations, whether it's cartoon or claymation or something, was Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of his stuff was parody stuff.
Yeah. But, like, even in the parody, like, sometimes he would do live action stuff that had to do with, like, most of the time he would do live action. But every so often, he would have, like, an animated parody video. Jurassic Park is, like, completely done in claymation, and there's several different examples.
Yeah. Claymation, Celebrity Deathmatch.
Mm-hmm. Weasel Stomping Day was done for Robot Chicken.
All right, so 40 years ago yesterday, Sledgehammer from Peter Gabriel was released. Moving on to the year 2011. Yesterday's date, 2011, which is 15 years ago yesterday. And I bring that up. WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the RBC Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was not only was it the Go Home Raw before the Extreme Rules pay-per-view the following Sunday, May 1st, but it was also the time of the 2011 draft, which of course was a yearly thing they did for a while there when the WWE did a quote-unquote brand split where you had half of the roster on one show, half of the roster on the other. So the results of the night would include opening up, you had a Team SmackDown. Team SmackDown consisting of Brodus Clay, Chris Masters, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Ziggler Jackson, Heath Slater, Kane, Kofi Kingston, Big Show, and Wade Barrett, defeating Team Raw consisting of Daniel Bryan, Evan Bourne, Mark Henry, Mason Ryan, Santino Marella, Sheamus, Ted DiBiase. Well, technically Ted DiBiase Jr., not the younger one, not the older one. The Great Khali, Vladimir Kozlov, and Yoshi Tatsu in a 20-man tag team battle royal. The survivors being Kofi Kingston and Big Show. You had a bunch of short matches here, with the main event being Alberto Del Rio, CM Punk, and The Miz defeating Christian, John Cena, and Mark Henry in 11:30. So that happened on yesterday's date, 15 years ago, back in 2011. Now moving ahead to today's date. Let's see. First off, moving ahead to the year 1996, 30 years ago today. On this date, 30 years ago today, over in Japan, oops, guess I hit the wrong thing there. Let me try that again. Over in Japan, 30 years ago, AIC released the OVA Tattoo Master. Was a 2-part OVA. An anthropologist runs into a tribe, and after the tribe leader sees a photo of the anthropologist's son, Hibio, the tribe leader wants to become the wife to him. All right, so that was an OVA that released back in 30 years ago today. The AIC produced OVA Tattoo Master premiered on or was released in Japan. It was released here in the States in August of 2006. So, anyways, and finally, moving ahead to the year 2006, so 20 years ago today. This date, 20 years ago today. The 10th issue of Godland. 10th issue of Godland from Image went on sale on this date back in 2006. Sold for $2.99 with 32 pages. All right. So with that being said, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. So, of course, before we do head out, Metal, I want to give you the chance if you want to. I know you may not have any links prepared or anything like that. But
yeah,
if you have anything you'd like to, promote, let everybody know what you're doing this week on your channel or anything like that. Well, my friend, the floor, as I say, is yours. Go for it. Metal? Oh, I hope we don't have another issue here.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't even have the browser open on my computer after the last reboot, aside from what I need for StreamYard. So I just had to manually type the link to xdynamischaos.com on my phone.
Okay. I was wondering because you went silent there for a moment. I'm like,
yeah. Well, I had to go get my phone. It was also far away from where I am. It's charging, so it's not right next to me.
Okay. Well, I do have the link up if you want to.
Yep. But I'm the creator of X Dynamis Chaos. I'm working on stuff for it right now. You can go over there and you can enjoy all of the stuff I've made. It's actually been kind of busy the last couple of weeks, even though I haven't been that active. So I probably should be active. So yeah, go over there, catch up on stuff if you haven't, and hit subscribe. If you actually sign up on the website with your email, it's functionally a newsletter. You don't have to keep going to my site. It'll just end up in your inbox when I do upload something.
All right.
That's it.
So that's it. All right. Well, with that being said, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoys the show. Of course, we'll be back with more Niche News tomorrow. And with that, I thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Metal, for coming in and filling in for Sabrina tonight. I do appreciate that. As always, it's always better when you're doing these type of shows, have another person to kind of share the experience with and give their input as well. So,
if you say so.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Is it? If you say so.
All right. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.